Hey word nerds! Today I want to talk to you about one of my favorite parts of the publishing process. This is something I spend way too much time obsessing over, but it's a pretty crucial step and not something you can ignore. I'm talking book covers. One of the big reasons I decided to go the self-publishing route, besides being impatient and kind of a control freak, was that I wanted to have a say when it came to cover design. There's just something that's so much fun and so creative about putting together the visual representation of your book that I just couldn't bear to give up being a part of. There are a lot of different routes that a self-published author can take when it comes to cover design, many of which I really wouldn't recommend because it looks homemade and just turns people away from your book. But today I want to talk about what I did for my first novel, Mortality, which was team up with a cover designer. I decided to go with the cover artist that I did because I saw her work with another author's book and liked it so much that I doubled back to the copyright page just to see who would design the cover. Not only was it on par with anything I was seeing in the bookstores, but I just thought it really popped and stood out with a particular style that I was looking for. So I got in touch with her. We got along really well. She was excited about the project and had some really great ideas. So after that, we decided to move forward. So the first step was that she sent over a group of low-resolution concept pieces. This was a combination of ideas I'd had and directions she was suggesting. So I looked them over, we talked it through a little bit, and eventually decided on the direction we wanted to move forward with. Originally, I'd been pretty convinced that I wanted to incorporate mirrors somehow into the cover concept. Not because it had a specific relevance to the plot, but just I liked the symbolism of looking in the mirror and seeing someone else looking back at you. Plus, it was a good opportunity to weave in the zombie elements that are pretty important to the book. Obviously, that isn't the direction we ended up going. I fell in love with something else, suggested a few minor tweaks, and we were on to the next step, which was typography. This is something I have no eye for whatsoever, so I really had to trust her judgment on this one. Again, she gave me a few different options. I looked through them, suggested some minor tweaks, and eventually we came up with something that I thought looked incredibly professional. Ever since I revealed the cover last December, I've gotten a lot of compliments on my book, and I have no doubt that the cover has helped me to get people interested in my story, but all of the credit should go to the cover artist, who is incredibly talented. I'll link to her down below so you can check out the rest of her stuff. It really is, if you love books and you love art, it's just a fun website to poke through. I did end up having to go with a different cover artist for the sequel, Duality, and I so wish I could show it to you guys because it's got a fun story as well, and I did end up using more of my own ideas in this one. But the cover reveal isn't until next week, so if you're interested, follow me on Twitter, and I'll definitely be tweeting up a storm about it when it's ready. I'm already thinking ahead to what my covers are going to look like for the next series I have planned, how I can incorporate prequels and have everything look like a cohesive unit, even though they're going to be 3 individual stories. I just really enjoyed this part of the publishing industry and can really talk about it for way too long. But that is it for today. If you're interested in learning more, I'll leave some links down below that you can check out. I may end up talking about some other covers I've been involved in on my personal channel, but we'll see if there's any interest. I hope this has been informative or at least interesting for you. Happy writing, happy reading, and I will see you all next week.